There you go. Now you can hear me. So I did it manually. Hi, Xeno. How's it going? I'm good. I'm actually warm, toasty. I have some coffee here. And actually, I'm gonna keep this close to me. Not too close to the microphone because I'll punch it, but I'm good. I'm doing good. Still a little stuffy, but I'm, getting over it. Let's go here. Hello to, who do we got today? We got Chloe, we got Tina, we got Christy, we got Wander. Looney Poo said so dark tide. Haha, he's funny. We got T-Bell in here. Hello. Hello, everyone. Oh. Hi. Yep, I'll flail. And John, what's up, John? What is up, John? Let people trickle in a little bit. Welcome. So, for those who don't know, this is our spicy.
Yeah,
Spicy. Spicy. This is our book club that Xeno and I are starting, where we're going to start off with the Dresden Files series, suggested by Christy. I may have to turn off these commands. Every time a command comes up, my brain goes, ooh, squirrel. We're starting off with the first book, Stormfront. We're reading the first 5 chapters. We're reading 5 chapters a week, and every Saturday we're going to have a stream where we talk about it, discuss it, and all that good stuff. It's Xeno's first time reading the book series. It's been such a long time. I was reading the first 5 chapters, and like every chapter I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. So it's like the first time for me too, which is really great. I'm really enjoying it. I remember I remember some of the characters, but others I completely forgot about. So it's actually a lot of fun. Sorry. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. That's me. That's my little pea brain going, ooh, squirrel. That is not a problem. Does Xeno know how many books there are in this? Do you? It's okay, because I don't know. I don't remember. Christy, I was gonna look it up. Christy, how many books are there? Well, we have this series, then we have Codex Alara, which I really think we should read. Because it's really good. Mozzie didn't even get to the good book. No, I didn't even get to the good books, yeah. I think I read 1, 2, and 3, and then I stopped, so. Yeah, I'm excited. He said he plans for 25. Wow, okay, yeah. That's, what is he on now? Get the ebooks. Oh, something I forgot to say. If you're interested in reading along with us, we really encourage it. If you join the Discord, if we get a link for Discord, I appreciate it. If you join the Discord in the book club section, that's where we'll be posting updates. You can ask questions there. We can, people can discuss it freely. Chrissy also posted the first chapter. Oh, I forgot to say who it was written by. The book series is written by Jim Butcher. Jim Butcher on his website actually posted the first chapter, and Christy put a link there. So you can go there and read the first chapter for free and see if it's something you're into. On Amazon, the first book is like $3 US. So if you're interested, take a look there or anywhere you buy books. What, no historical romance books? Well, we might get there, T-Bell. I don't know. How do you feel about smut? I mean, historical romance. Tomato. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. There you go. There's a probably. Wander says smut. Smut us the best. I think it's is the best. Smut is the best. I wouldn't know. I recommend smut to Christy. Nice. Nice. But Christy posted the link for the first chapter. I cut my finger and it hurts. What? I'm gonna start this off with a question for you because I feel like I've talked enough. What were your expectations going into this book? What did you know anything about Dresden Files? Did you see? Because there was a brief TV show. Did you have any idea what it was? Yeah, Dresden Files. It was. I think it was on Sci-Fi. I'm looking it up real quick. I actually really enjoyed it, and I think that's actually where I got first exposed to it. It had Paul Blackthorne in it, if you remember him. It was... It... 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 It was a Canadian series. It was on Space and Sci-Fi Channel. I don't even know if it ran a season, to be honest. 13 episodes, so yeah, it was a season. So the dude is a wizard, eh? Yeah, he's a wizard, eh? Yeah. So you didn't know about anything going in, really? Right. He did do a great job in the Dresden series, yeah. He was a really good Dresden. I know I said we're going to talk about our feelings and what we thought about the first 5 chapters after we discuss chapter per chapter, but what do you think of it now? Like, going in, what do you think about the wizarding magic in modern day? Or what were your first impressions of the book? Oh, hang on. No one can hear you. Hold on. Excellent. Say something now.
How about now?
Can you hear him now? Thank you, Wander. I'm not gonna have you go over it again, but I'm waiting for confirmation that they can hear you. I'm pretty sure they can, but they can hear you now.
Okay. Great.
And if you do want to see Xeno's perspective, it is pinned up above. But go ahead. What was your feelings initially?
So, yeah, I guess the feelings is the only thing you have right now is kind of the whole Harry Potter before, right? Because that's the whole wizarding world that's super popular. Everyone knows, everyone's read it. And then this is like a completely different take. It's not like people are just like blowing magic everywhere, just like, ooh, everything is just so magical and
it's more subtle.
And there, like everything, it's super subtle. It's more just like, and it takes like setup and stuff for the actual magic to, be possible and stuff. Like there's a lot more to it. Obviously, I don't know the extent, of course, at this point, but it seems a lot more in depth.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. People are saying they didn't notice because they had your stream up too, so they heard you from yours and me from mine. No, I totally agree. I think that is right on the nose. All right, well, do you want to just dive straight in? Chapter 1, we'll go so just so people know, the way we're going to do this is we're going to go chapter by chapter. Do you want to do like a brief summary of the chapter? Or do you just want to go straight into the questions? So we'll do a brief summary.
Yeah, just do a brief summary. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do a brief summary because I have it kind of written down here. And then at the end of that, we'll go over maybe our favorite chapter, maybe some of that. And then we'll go into a Q&A section if people have questions. So first chapter, pretty basic. It was just an introduction to Harry Dresden, the wizard. There is a really cool interaction that I thought was a really great way to introduce Harry Dresden and him being a wizard. And it's with the mailman, which I think was really relatable because I don't know about you, but I'm not going to answer the door for a mailman. You can leave your package at the door. I don't want to interact with you. But it gave a really cool insight to how normal, I guess, the public looks at a wizard. And it's just like, he's a freak. He's weird. He's, a circus clown, kind of like that. But you had that connection of like, well, he is, how old is Harry Dresden? Ooh. I don't remember. Did they say?
I don't think it said.
I don't think it said. I think maybe 40s? 30 to 40? I don't know. I'd have to check.
Question,
I'm not sure,
yeah,
T-Bell. Unless Christy... Go ahead.
Yeah, Christy's got like quite a bit. Definitely not a teenager. He's definitely an adult with his own agency. So he's got his own business, essentially.
I actually had it saved because I love the fact that they put the plaque like in the book. Because there's a plaque on his door. Okay. Is he that young? I thought he was older than that.
He feels like he's older, but I guess it's probably his experience and what he's been through.
That's true. That is true. So the plaque on his door reads specifically Harry Dresden - Wizard. Lost items found, paranormal investigations, consulting advice, reasonable rates, no love potions, endless purses, parties, or other entertainment. And I thought that was just a beautiful summary of what he was. I also love the fact that they started with the mailman interaction and then went into like magic is real, and this is how like it there's a difference between science and magic, and this is how the world feels about magic. And I think if they did it in the reverse order, it wouldn't have had a better as good of a hook, to like grab you and pull you into the story. So I thought that was a really, really good way. What did you feel, or what were your thoughts about the first chapter?
Yeah, I thought it kind of gave that nice setup, and it gave you that kind of expectation where he's just, he's sick of the way everyone treats. He's doing something that's just pretty out there, obviously, and he gets a lot of flack for it, and I'm saying obviously a lot. I'm trying to avoid that now. But he's got like that surly personality, and he just kind of he's already sick. He's grown some calluses, so he feels
He's
older
jaded.
than. Yeah, he definitely is, and he's just like ugh. But he's just like trying to get by like anybody else, and he's just like, I gotta pay my rent.
It did bring up like he's 2 months behind or a month and a half behind rent and stuff like that, and that was a very real thing too. It's like, oh, this wizard, like, they have magic, they can do anything. Nope, he's behind on rent. He has bills coming in and stuff, and that was really cool. Very good shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else happened. Oh, then he got the call from Monica, his first like client, I guess, which was very vague. I mean, it also kind of showed the like hesitance of a normal person calling a wizard for help and not really knowing. They also touched upon, I think, in that chapter about him not mixing well with modern machinery and like science, which I thought was interesting. Yep. That actually came up a lot. I think it comes up a lot in the books in general, but it came up a lot in the first 5 chapters.
Yeah, kind of like, I wonder if it's something that's probably going to be played a lot throughout the series, I guess.
I would think so. That's actually my
first
question is, what did you think about Dresden's first interactions with modern machinery and technology? What did you think about that whole dynamic?
I think that's interesting. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Megan. She tends to like get near things and break them, like not like physically. Just she has like this weird aura where I feel like she just gives off too much energy and like ruins everything. So like computers, everything just mess up around her, and it's very close to home, I guess, but at the same time. So it's kind of like something I feel close to, I guess.
Right, his gremlins, yes.
Yeah, no, she's got like that gremlin aura where everything's just off a little bit. It's surprising.
Looney also said that he liked the noir storytelling. I didn't think about that until he just said that. That's a good point. Did you feel the same way? Had that noir feel to it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that at all. Did you have any questions for the first chapter?
So what did you think of just Harry in general as a character?
I love him. I think I like the gruff, like some of it was kind of, I don't want to say tropey, but he's like, he's gruff. He dresses in blacks and browns. He almost kind of has that like noir detective feel to him, but he's a wizard, which I think was great. I just love the blend of those two so well. I like his snark. Yeah, absolutely. I love his snarkiness. I love I don't think the humor came up much in the first chapter, but definitely in the other chapters, his snarkiness, his what's the word? Sarcasm, I loved. I think as a character, I don't want to say I personally connect with him, but I love him as a main character.
Nice.
He's a
Yeah,
no
I
nonsense
agree.
guy. He is a no nonsense guy, which is actually a great segue to the second chapter, which we get introduced to one of my favorite characters, Murphy. I love Murphy. She is a pull up here. She's is it a captain, sergeant? What was her rank? I missed that part.
She's detective.
Is just detective?
Sure. Not sure if she's lieutenant or something like that. I'm not sure though.
It doesn't say in the first chapter, so I don't know. But she's a detective for sure. She's head of the division that it's Karen Murphy, excuse me, Karen Murphy, Detective Karen Murphy. She's head of the division who they get all the weird cases, all the things that can't really be explained or just weird, which she says that most, I don't know if he said most, but some of them are like legitimate supernatural magical stuff. Some was Sergeant. Okay, I'm gonna put Sergeant so I remember that. Some of them are just hoax stuff that just they just kind of got, oh, this is a weird case that we can't solve, but it's just a normal
Yeah, and it
case. But she
sounded
gets all the
like
weird stuff.
everything that he had stepped in and helped them out with was more of like something small and just like hokey or nothing really too out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Until this one.
Yes, yeah. And look, Luna said she's a no bullshit woman. She seemed open and curious about magic, which is the direct opposite of someone we'll get to in a second here. But she seemed to have a very playful relationship with Dresden. And I the one that stuck out with me was them racing to the door, like him racing to the door to open it for her, but her racing to the door so she, he didn't have to. Hey, Noodle, what's up, dude? Are we talking? Yeah, we're talking about Dresden.
Ginger,
Yep.
How's it?
Yep.
How's it going, man?
We're going over the first 5 chapters right now. But yeah, she's great. What did you think?
I like
of her?
that interaction because I've been in that interaction before.
Same.
People.
Yep.
It's just
Same.
like, nah, I gotta get that for you. It's really straightforward. It was just like a nice, I don't know, they have like a good, seemingly good relationship already, but not like nothing too deep or anything like that so far. They know each other a bit and they've worked a little together, but I couldn't really glean too much emotional connection in either way, because I was like, well, she could be a romantic later. I'm not sure, we'll see. I don't know.
It definitely, I feel like she has the hard shell creamy center kind of thing, but we don't know. Like it's one of those, because there's instances where she lets her kiddish side, her vulnerable side through, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I felt like she's kind of letting her guard down around Dresden a bit, right?
Yeah.
And she's too tough to do that and around most people, so it seems like a bit of a vulnerability. Maybe she has a little soft side for him.
Makes you wonder about it, yeah. And like you said, with they had previous cases that they built up probably that trust in those cases, which I feel like the mood almost turned when they got into the elevator going up to the crime scene. Because okay, we didn't say before, but when Murphy called Dresden in the first chapter, it was to let him know, hey, we have 2 dead bodies and I need your help, which was pretty serious to begin with. But it just built the tension as the elevator kept going up to the 7th floor or whatever it was, to I feel like get you ready for the crime scene, which was horrific, but we'll get to that in a second.
I like
we
Christy's
have Murphy.
Point,
go ahead.
where I think she thinks part of it too is she hates asking for his help because she can't figure it out, and so she's one of those people
okay.
She's tries to and it's
She
one of
doesn't
those
ask for help.
barriers she's got to cross to be like, all right, fine, I gotta ask for help. This is one of those weirdo things.
that even reinforces her relationship with Dresden, that she feels comfortable enough to ask him for help. That's a really good point. I didn't think about that. I don't know. I thought I put this in the notes, but now I can't find it. Oh, here we go. So we have Murphy. Then we get introduced to Detective Carmichael. I don't remember his first name, and I don't really care. He is like the polar opposite. Skeptic. He's not lazy. At least I didn't get the impression that he was lazy. Did you?
Not necessarily.
He's just kind of a like by the books detective.
He's a butthole.
He is a butthole. He is a butthole. He's just super skeptic, snarky, and he doesn't want to like even listen to. That's one of the things that irks me. Like, even if someone has a bad idea or maybe not the right not opinion, but the people that just write off people, not even listening to their ideas or what they have suggestion, bothers me. And he does this to Dresden every single time. I mean, I hate him. What was your opinion of him?
No, didn't like him whatsoever. He's just one of those, like, I feel it, like, I don't know. In my life, I definitely have met people like that, where it's just like, yeah, all right, we're not going to get along. You just want something negative to say about every little thing that I try to do. So
it does make me wonder if he's gonna come around, like if Jim Butcher is gonna build that arc where maybe he's a believer in the end. I don't know. I don't remember from the few books that I've read, so we'll see. But initial thoughts, he's an arse is exactly what I put in my notes. Then we get to the crime scene. What was your initial reaction to the crime scene?
I mean,
because it was intense.
It's intense. It didn't necessarily like feel like it was over the top graphic in the description, at least, but I mean, it was enough to give you an idea, and it gross. It's just, stuff everywhere. You got some boobies,
boobies,
you know, and
you got some boobies.
It's and which I feel like kind of sets up the realism, trying to like get that, like, hey, this was like an intense moment, like with stuff going down, and then because of that, that's how this magic worked, essentially.
Yep. No, I agree. It was tastefully graphic. I think it wasn't over the top. It was serious. Like two people's chests were burst open from the outside, and their hearts exploded. So it was intense. It was serious. I think it was a main turning point for the book, because like you had that scene where, Murphy and Dresden were joking around. Even Carmichael and Dresden were playfully joking back and around a little bit. And then you got hit with this. But also, I think the most important part is it showed Dresden another one of his human sides. You're like, oh, he's a wizard. He's super powerful. But he got sick just at the sight of this, which also was like a kind of a good connecting point with the reader and Dresden from a human level, I think. That's true. Carmichael did have the bucket ready for him on hand. That is very, very true. Do you think that changed the tone of the book, the crime scene, or what do you think?
I mean, there was definitely a tonal shift into like some like heavy serious. It's been like kind of like, well, it's got that noir and that setup and all that, and it's kind of, he's dealing with his demons, and he's got to pay the rent, and all right, let's go help the police. And then it's like, oh, this is pretty bad. Yeah, this is gross. We're gonna go into some serious level stuff here. Like, put your big boy pants on.
Even to build upon that, when Dresden was explaining magic and like how it has to be part of you and like part of your emotions, for whoever did this crime, if their emotions matched that sort of violence, even that was just like, whoa, okay, that's intense.
That's pretty intense, yeah.
Yeah. What questions do you have? Go ahead.
So how did you what did you think about the whole setup of the investigation that they kind of it went step by step, room to room at the beginning there? How did you like that?
I thought it was really good. I thought it built the anticipation and the tension up to the actual crime scene. Because like even at the beginning of the previous chapter, when Murphy called Dresden and said like it's bad, and then he was like, oh no, it just kind of built upon that, with broken up with like the playful moments that I was talking about, kind of like that. But it felt like it kept building and building until this actual crime scene. I thought it was done really well. I think it kind of grabbed the reader to continue, to keep going, and to like, oh, what is actually in this crime scene? What could it be? What could be that bad? I think it was really well done. Yeah.
Another. I'm gonna save it for the end though. I think it'd be better there. It's more about the writing style overall.
Oh, okay. All right. Good for chapter 3 then.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Oh, okay. So this is one of my favorite chapters, at least from the first 5. We get an introduction to Johnny Marconi. What did you think of Mr. Marconi?
Yeah, he's creepy.
He's very creepy.
He knows how to deal with people. He understands a lot. Like, he is a very intelligent guy. And
mob guy. Yep, the mob guy.
Yeah, the mob guy. And he is somebody you do not want on your bad side. Like, clearly.
Gentle. That's true. They said gentleman Johnny Marconi, and emphasis on gentleman, because he is creepy, but he does have that like silver tongue charm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the real scary part I think about him. He's not just like some guy who's gonna come in, threaten you, and push you around. No, he's gonna talk. He's gonna threaten you, but he's gonna do it in such a way that it's like absolutely terrifying.
Oh, is it Marcone? I thought it was Marconi. I just throw it in an E at the end.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's spelled with the E, so Marconi. Like, I could have seen it either way. That's good to know, though. Thank you, Noodle. No, you did right.
No, at the end. Oh, okay. Marcone. Yeah, I guess my like mob brain just was like, it's Marconi.
Marconi, yeah, the Marconi man.
Not Marcone. It sounded more mafioso to me. So Marcone. Okay. I'm also really bad at pronouncing names, so that's on me. I almost got initially like kind of a devil Satan like comparison.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
he's like the devil. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know about if it was just me. Now something else that came up, I think in chapter 1 as well. I don't know if they called it this, but this is what I was calling it: soul gazing. When they met eyes with Dresden and like he could peer into them. This was the first time we actually got a description of it happening. What did you think of that?
I mean, there's so many layers. Like, I'm so curious about that right now. Like, the whole soul gazing, like it like lets you in and you can see things. And so he doesn't know what people see when they look into his eyes, but like, he can see what.
Oh no, they do. It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way. But he doesn't know what they see.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
So like he's not completely aware, but I mean he knows his past experiences, I guess, to some degree. So you have to think like they're seeing something, but something creeps most people out when they look into his eyes. But this guy, of course, nothing. But
nothing. No, nothing. Which I thought
bother him.
It was a great way. I loved the whole experience. But I also thought it was a awesome way from a writing standpoint to give you more into gentleman Johnny Marcone. Like the fact that and I'm going to use the exact words, the fact that Dresden saw him as a soldier, a warrior, but that he tries to minimize the misery and suffering that his business causes on the people, but not because of like any like I don't want to do that much harm. He does it because it's the best business practice. It's the best way to get business done, which is even scarier In my opinion, because it's like, oh, he's got like a soft side, he's got a compassionate side. No, he wants to be efficient. And then the fact that it goes into the fact that he said killing, oh yeah, that he was angry. We found out, by the way, that the male, because in the crime scene it was a male and female lovers that got killed. The male was one of his henchmen named Tommy Tom, I think was his name. I think it was Tommy Tom. I'll have to look it up, but Mr. Marcone was furious at his death, but it wasn't because of a personal loss. It was because of he felt like his empire was personally attacked, and that he will get his revenge, get even, and that killing and death is part of business. It's like a transaction, and I quote, "It's like paying for your groceries at the checkout line," which, I mean, all of this just builds upon the scariness, I think, of him. What did you and the next, well, do you have anything to add to that before I get to the next part?
No, go ahead.
Okay. The next part that he saw in the soul gazing was his secret shame, which he said it was something that he's super shameful about. It drives him and motivates him, and that he would do anything to erase it. What do you think that secret is? Do you have any idea?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I have an idea. I have a theory of what it is. I think it's someone close to him either was killed by some sort of crime organization or a drug overdose. And that's what drives him. That's just a theory. I don't really know. But when I read that, I was like, it sounds like this maybe. But I wanted to see if you had any ideas or what you thought about that.
I mean, yeah, just speculation.
Hey, DJ.
Really? So, I mean, yeah, that sounds like it could be, but who knows?
Yeah,
like maybe,
you're right.
Maybe he chose to do some good or something and it backfired, or
I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Reads them. Yeah, it is hard. Sometimes when you only read a book and like reading names, I don't remember where this is from, but I saw somewhere online that someone only read the Harry Potter books and they didn't know how to pronounce Hermione. I think they pronounced it Hermione, Harmony, something like that. And then they heard like people talking about it. They're like, who is that? Anyway,
I will admit that when I first read the books when I was younger, I called her Hermione. I think I was like,
I think everyone
Hermione.
had. I think everyone had a different name.
And then you hear it and you're like, oh God, oh no. Did I say it out loud ever? Oh no.
Yeah. Hermione? Yeah, exactly. I thought it was also really interesting that Dresden was, after soul gazing, was terrified of him. Well, two things. One, that he was terrified of him. I also thought it was really interesting because you said earlier that Dresden doesn't know what they see in him. But after that interaction, Marcone knew that he couldn't bribe Dresden. He didn't try anymore. He gave up. And he also, when it sounded like he was kind of threatening him, and Dresden was like, "Are you threatening me?" And he said, after that, what did he say actually? That he respected him too much to threaten him or do any harm to him. And it's like, okay, are you scared of Dresden, or what exactly did you see in Dresden?
Yeah, it's interesting. Or yeah, I really like that.
I thought it was a really good touch. Did you have any questions or anything else before we go to chapter 4, or what was your overall?
I don't think. Okay. Yeah, this overall was just like it was pretty straightforward. And like that, it was mostly the bad guy and him, and I think we went over enough of that. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was really interesting. You know, good setup. I'm kind of curious to see what happens. So
yeah, absolutely. Noodle has a good point. He said he isn't scared of Dresden. He respects his power. That's and that he has a code much. Yeah, and he has a code much like Marcone does. Yeah, exactly.
Which is like, it's interesting because this whole magic thing is very secret, or not literally secret, it is in a way, but at the same time, like it's just people don't really understand it or believe it, but it's not very common. But like these scary people, these powerful people, they know all about it. Like, you know,
Right.
it's
Makes you
interesting.
wonder. People in power seem to be magic users, or at least to be able to see it, which is interesting. All right. So we go to chapter 4, which I think was one of the weaker chapters. It was necessary, but it was Monica No Name. It was from chapter 1, the woman that called him about that wanting to procure his services. We found out what she wanted in finding Dresden's help in finding her husband. What did you think about that whole interaction?
This is all like just so weird. It's just there's so much. The whole interaction was just like she's not really sure about the whole magic-y stuff, but whatever happened with her husband, she's like she obviously thinks she needs him better than anybody else, and is willing to like, you know, pay and I don't know, go through this weird, like she's pretty uncomfortable with it obviously, and
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes you, because like she wants to find her husband. You think you'd want to do everything you could to find your husband, even if it was like maybe a little embarrassing talking to a wizard. And I thought that was very strange.
Yeah.
And like I get the whole being cautious about magic, I guess, but I feel like wanting to find your husband would trump that. Also, she had just an envelope of money just ready, which I guess if you're going to a private eye, you'd have something like that ready. I just thought she was I thought she was a little shady. I agree. I thought it was just a weird interaction.
Yeah.
And then she was like, my husband like is maybe into some magic stuff. I don't know. It's like,
Yeah, like what do you like? You don't know anything? Like what? I don't know. Like this is
seems a little sus.
But she's like really like you're the one that needs to help him. Like, okay, I definitely need
no police.
you.
It has to be you. Yeah. That's the and then she dropped the scorpion talisman. Oh, I don't think he opened it with her there, but she gave it to like I found this
in the
stuff.
envelope, right?
Yeah. And I was like, that was weird because he said that it was nothing good comes out of scorpions, but it may just be like a fake trinket. But he was kind of weirded out by it at the beginning, so it makes you wonder. I just thought that kind of all of that combined was just a little weird. Oh, and we found out that her husband, his name was Victor, or his name is Victor Sells, which is just like, okay, you gave your husband's name, but you're Monica. I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird to me. So
it was very strange. Yeah. Kind of.
All right, anything else before chapter 5?
I don't think so. Yeah, that one's left a lot of questions, I'd say, but not a lot of answers.
No, it was just more of like, let's see how this goes. And we did see a little bit of what, because it didn't seem like Dresden was too surprised by it, because he was like, well, you know, names are powerful, and 1 sec, you got Megan. Hi, Megan.
You gotta go. Okay.
Names are important to wizards. Yeah, exactly. She didn't want to share it because she's dealing with him directly. Yeah. No, and that was like Dresden's point, that, you know, we're face to face. She doesn't want to give her real name, and he didn't seem like that it was sketchy, which I think it could go one of two ways. It could be like, oh, that's just like how the interactions go, or
see, but it's more like she knows more about magic than she's letting on, maybe, you know, with the whole name thing. Never looked him in the eyes, like didn't let him have any like sight into her whatsoever.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, she's got more. Exactly. Yes.
Has more knowledge. Yeah, exactly. I have a theory about her, but I'm gonna wait for another chapter that's gonna come up. Let's go. So I said that the Johnny Marcone chapter is my favorite. It's hard because this is a really good chapter too. Chapter 5 introduces McCainley's how do you pronounce it? McCanley's Max
McCanley's,
Pub.
yeah.
McCanley's
Yeah.
pub, which is awesome. What did you think of the pub?
I love. I would love that pub. I would love to go there.
Me too.
McAnally's, yeah.
McAnally's. Okay, thank you. McAnally's. I love Mac. He's the crotchety
best.
bartender that says like few words, but he's super like insightful and knowledgeable. Yeah. Someone followed you. It's like, what? It's just awesome. It also, in my mind,
Stupid. It's just to the point. The important phrases.
It reminded me of just like like an old school pub. Not like, the new age pubs and all like that stuff. Just like a dark, everything's sticky. There's only brown and like not much color to the room. That's the feeling I got. And that's the thing. It's a wizard pub, which I thought the 13s was really cool. There's 13 stools. There's 13 beams. There's 13 everything, which was really cool. Sticky floor. Oh, sticky surfaces everywhere. It's all sticky. I thought it was great. I thought it was a awesome introduction to a public area for magic users, I guess. Immediately my question was, because you said you'd want to go to that pub, my question for you is, what food or beverage would you order from this pub? If you could order anything, what would you order?
Probably just whatever sandwich. Just the basics, like the beer on tap and just the sandwich.
That steak
whatever.
Sandwich?
Yeah, the steak sandwich sounded so good.
Fantastic. Yeah, it really did. It sounded fantastic. I would definitely, I feel like there's no bottles served in that bar. It's only on tap. That's it. And that's all you'd order.
That's it.
I agree. I think the steak sandwich just sounded so good. Maybe I'd go for a shepherd's pie. Maybe. Because they have it. But that steak sandwich sounded fantastic. There was also something mentioned very briefly in this chapter, and it's the 3-eye drug. You remember that? When he was reading reading the newspaper, and he was like, "Hey, Mac, have you seen this?" And it was about, I think, like 3 teens or something, a group of teens who were on this drug called 3-eye drug that supposedly gives you the sight of, the third eye, which makes it sound like it's magical in some way. And even Dresden's like, this is a, load of shit. And then it said like the teens were hospitalized. They went to a place, wrecked everything because they thought that it was destined to be destroyed or whatever. And then they were in critical condition in the hospital. It was it was like a paragraph, maybe 2, but I felt like it may have I don't know if it will, but I think it's going to have significance later.
Man, I bet it will actually. I kind of glossed right over that. But now
it's easy to miss. At first I thought it was just like a throwaway interaction with him and Mac, but I was like, maybe not.
I bet it's more. Yeah, I bet you're right. And it is interesting. I bet that'll play out in some, because we got crime, we got some crime syndicate,
right? And we have mobsters, and it's like, well, what goes hand in hand is drugs. So like,
they love peddling. Peddling.
And to what you said earlier, like, even Marcone, everyone in power seems to know about magic a little bit. If he deals in drugs, maybe that's that's where his knowledge comes from. Magical drugs.
Interesting.
Then I hesitate to say it, but now we're going to get to my least favorite character. Yeah. What did you think of Miss Susan Rodriguez?
I kind of don't like her, but
let me preface it of who she is for those who don't know. She's introduced. Mac's like, "You were followed," and then she kind of like comes up and slinks out of the quarters. She is a reporter for the Chicago Arcane, which is like one of those tabloids, hoaxy magazine, like Bigfoot seen in the city. that just goes over paranormal stuff that people just kind of shrug off as nonsense. She's a reporter for them. So go ahead. What did you think of her?
Yeah. She's got that like she's clearly only after what she wants angle.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. She does have that charm. I really like girls. I like dark hair, so I don't know. That's hard. I was just like, the interaction would be nice, but then it'd be like, all right, go away. I'm not gonna give you anything. Like, I mean, I'd be Dresden. I would probably, me and Dresden, we kind of align.
Similar reaction.
Very, very similar, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, I know. Oh well, yeah, maybe. All right, I got a date now. Oh shoot.
How appropriate for it. That's a lot of nuts, redeem. Yes, yes, it is. No, I totally agree. She's out to only benefit herself in getting a good story, so you can't really trust her. But there was that playful interaction and that coy, and then she tricked him into going out on a date with him, and it's just like, okay, we need to be careful of you. Kind of like the forbidden fruit. It's like, oh, you're nice and sweet, but I don't trust you.
Nope.
Which is, yeah, I don't know. She can go one of many different ways. How's it going, Pancake? What's up, dude?
She's probably, it's always one of those. It's like a 90%. It's gonna be bad. And
Probably.
yeah, but yeah. But I did like her character at least.
I didn't hate her as a character, and that's why I preface with it's my least favorite character. I think she's a good character, but it's just, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because
It's just
she's
gonna
gonna
end up
try
real
and play
messy.
Dresden. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna end up just messy. Yeah. So those are all my questions. What did you have any questions on there, or we'll go to the overall wrap up?
I kind of, I mean, nah, you did. I was gonna ask about the whole, the vibe of the bar and what you thought about.
I love it. I love it. Do you have any? So I have a personal experience that I went to Edinburgh a while back, and we went to a pub, and like I think it's the world's oldest pub or something. It's called End of the World or something like.
Oh, End of the World, like in the End of the World movie, yeah.
Yeah, I think they changed the name a little bit, but yeah, it's or maybe it's the same name. I don't know. It was like that where you walk down into it, you go down those stairs. It's old wooden World's End. There, yeah. It's all wooden furniture, browns. It wasn't like dark, but it was a lot of like warm light. So it reminded me of that. It's just old, and you can like feel the history in it. And I thought it was, and like having that, but like a magical version, just sounded awesome. Like you, yeah. I just want to go there. I just want to go there, have an ale on tap or whatever, and just soak it all in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I'm maybe you might remember. I feel like when you went in there, it was mostly empty, but wasn't there like two people in the back playing like cards
they're like
or something?
playing mahjong, I think.
Is it mahjong? Okay. He didn't go. They kind of glossed over them. I wanted to see more of the other people in the bar, which we might later. I don't know. I just wanted more, personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope it ends up back there for sure.
All right. Well, that closes up the chapter 5. You had some questions on the writing or what?
Yeah, so
over?
in this endeavor, I mean, it's fairly early in the works. Obviously, he's making up to these 25 books, which is really cool. And it's got to start somewhere. And I think because we're starting at the young point, and then as it goes, he's gonna obviously just get better at his writing. How do you feel like how good was his writing? Were the in a literary sense?
Phenomenal.
About it?
I thought it was great. I think the very first chapter was so well done in hooking the audience and the way he chose, like I said earlier, the way he chose the interaction with the mailman before describing the world to give you that personal connection, but also that insight to Dresden's a wizard, but he has to deal with the same shit that some of the rest of us do, but in a different way. and it's like, oh, that's cool, and it just kind of kept building upon that. I could see the like obvious like setting the foundation of the book, like going over the different characters and stuff, but I think in a writing sense it was awesome. The fact that they had the soul gazing, which was a great technique of giving you, because it would feel, well, okay, he could have done it one of two ways. He could have just been like, this is like, Marcone is cold and calculating, he's like a war no nonsense guy, he'll protect what's his till the very end. But instead he did it through the soul gazing mechanic, which was so much more interesting than just telling the reader like, this is what this person's like, but it's now like, this is what this character's like, and this is how Dresden saw, this is how he found out, this is his interpretation of the things that he saw, because I would assume that the way the soul gazing works is Dresden would see, like from a first person perspective, maybe third person, different points of his life, his interactions. Like he'd see him starting out as like a low level crime dude and working his way up to more mobster style, and he would see like, he's a warrior. Okay, he just saw scenes of him, like, you know, commanding his guys to do crime and things like that and build upon, and he saw that he was like a smooth talking gentleman, and that he was trying to minimize his the misery that he caused to others, but also that he's a businessman. So it kind of gives you like, what did exactly Dresden see to come to these conclusions, which I thought was really interesting, because it made the reader just think more and more about it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was excellent.
One thing that we didn't mention that I thought was really interesting was the fact that he kept giving out little tidbits, like a little piece at a time, about something in the past interaction with like how, like his master, or like he did something bad, and then it's like, oh, you know, like, because, oh, I had to defend myself, and, you know, killed his master.
For full transparency, I didn't bring that up because I do remember some of that later down the road, so I couldn't remember how much he said. So that's, he did say that, like, he did something bad.
Yeah, and they give like this just a little bit, and then later it's like a little bit more, like one more detail, and then like one more detail. So
the interesting thing is, especially with that soul gaze, I think Marcone 100% saw that. He saw that interaction, and I think that's partly why he came to the conclusion is like, I can't bribe you, I respect you too much, which is very interesting. I gotta turn off this heater. I'm baking over here. Sorry.
Yeah, because there's more. I did get a little further, so I did get a little bit more of that, but that's for next time.
I think I'm up to chapter 9. Is where I stopped. I'm probably a little bit behind you.
Same, yeah.
I'm excited to do these next 5 chapters. So we're doing 6 to 5 next Saturday, or chapters 6 through 5. 6 through 5, yeah. No, we're doing chapters 6 through 10 next Saturday. I should be, in case something happens, but I should be back for that.
Yeah, so what Christy said, though,
yes,
this first novel was actually a school project for Jim.
Really?
And then he was encouraged to continue it. So yeah.
What age?
That's what I thought.
How old was he when he wrote the first book, Christy? Do you know?
This was college, I think.
Okay.
When he did it.
That's really cool. He did such a good job.
Yeah, like the way that he kind of like brings you in with like a little piece of stuff here and there, and he kind of like weaves it together really well, and he's already doing that at like this early stage in his life. Like, I can't wait to see what else he does. Like, this is 1996, okay, when he wrote it, this one.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, he's only gonna get better from here, so
yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to go over. So now, any questions? Anyone else have questions for us about the chapters that you wanted to get our opinions on, or, you know, hey, what did you think about this experience, or any questions for us? What's up, OG?
Say hi to DJ John. I didn't wasn't it trying to ignore you guys. It just didn't have a good opening to get to you.
No, sorry about that. I did that too. I try to say hi to people, but this is going to be a very different format from what we normally do, and we're gonna try and interact with chat, but it may not be directly. Just looked up. Butcher was 25 when he wrote it. Okay.
Any good pictures in the book?
Thank you, Looney. No,
there aren't. There are some basic pictures, but very, very few.
No.
Very, very few.
No, they also, like, I felt like they gave a description of Dresden, but I didn't feel like it was super detailed. I feel like he left a lot of it for the reader to fill in.
It was one of those like the guidelines.
Yeah,
it was a decent guideline, but I'm still kind of unsure of exactly what he looks like right now.
Yeah, right. Like, you got a body shape. He's tall. He's kind of lanky. He's got the duster. Awesome, by the way. I love the duster addition to it. It just kind of it fed into that noir feel to me. I mean, did they say he had brown hair, or am I just imagining that? Yeah, wiry. Exactly. Yeah. No facial features. I imagine with a scruffy beard, but I don't even know if it said that in the book or not.
He said a little bit about his nose. But...
Oh yeah, he has a long nose, doesn't he?
Yeah, like a longer nose.
Yeah. He's
but
dark,
we're
brown,
like that dark.
Brown eyes and hair. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, just it's good. Yeah. Sounds like a handsome fella.
Book has a cool cover. I mean, it shows him on the cover of the book itself. Oh, I don't know if I can pull it up here actually.
Covers are always another artist's interpretation, though, as well.
That's true. So. That's true. He may have given the artist the same like description from the book, and that's their interpretation of it. That's a very good point. Yes, he did compare himself to Karen, being the opposite of Karen, because Karen was short and a more stronger build, but she was blonde, blue-eyed. Yep, exactly. Which I thought was kind of cool. It's just like they're kind of opposites, but they also connect I mean, they're opposites attract, I guess, but they connected very well. And she seemed to trust him. So
yeah, I'm excited to see what comes of those relationships so far and see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, if there's no other questions, I'm gonna just go over it again. Excuse me, sorry, a little congestion. We're gonna be doing chapters 6 to 10 next Saturday. We encourage everyone to read along with us. In the Discord, there is a section called Book Club, I think. Let me just double check, see exactly what I named it. I think it was it's called Book Club. If you have any, I would say if you have any questions, wait till Saturday. Don't post them in that section because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But I do encourage you guys to discuss chapters 1 through 5 in that section amongst yourselves. Xeno and I will be in there too. So if a question comes up and be like, oh, in chapter 2, like this happened, what do you think of that? We can respond to it there. And we can just talk about it. But yeah. Unless you got anything else, I think it's a good time to wrap up.
That's it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us and talking about something like this. It's a new little thing for us, but definitely a lot of fun. So appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're having fun too.
It's different. I've never done anything like this format before. I don't think you have either, have you?
Yeah. No, we need to we need to stretch our legs, learn something new, and I think this is a good way to do it.
And I have to thank Christy. Like, a huge shout out to Christy for really being the one to push this and be like, hey, you should do this. And we were like, we should do this. This sounds cool. So thank you so much for that, and giving us a direction of the book too, because she's the one who suggested Dresden Files. I think now we got a long ways to go before we finish the Dresden Files and maybe Codex Alara, but after that, maybe we might take some suggestions of some people's books. I have a Warhammer book that I would love for you to read, but it's a lot. It's not as much as some of like the other books, but we'll see if we get to that or when we do. And please let us know what you guys think. Like, what did you think of this? Is there something like you would want to see different, or your thoughts, obviously. You can leave them in the Discord in the book club section. You can leave in the comments below. Like, please let us know.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, thanks so much. Take care, everyone. Bye.